everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be so much different to what I usually do, and I'm really scared to do this video as it's something I've always wanted to do but I've never really known how to do it. Today's video is going to be about my ADHD and how I got diagnosed, and I just kind of want to give you guys a bit more of an explanation of what ADHD actually is, because I feel like people have different perceptions of what ADHD actually is. A lot of people don't even believe it's a thing, so I wanted to talk from my perspective. This is not for attention in any way. I feel like my ADHD is one of my problems which I'm very open to talk about. I have other things that I've been diagnosed with, like mental stuff, that I don't feel comfortable in talking about on my channel, just because there's stuff that I know people say I'm attention seeking for, but this one is one that I'm open to talk about with anyone and everyone, and I kind of want to get a few things straight with people because it's very, very, very misconcepted. I think that's the word. I got diagnosed when I was 13, and I just wanted to give you guys my story. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Like, a lot of people have ADHD. Mainly boys get diagnosed more than girls do. So the reason I got diagnosed so late with it, I only got diagnosed when I was 13 with ADHD, is literally because most people, when they think of ADHD, they think of the boy symptoms almost. If you are a girl with ADHD, your symptoms will be different to if you're a boy with ADHD. They're two completely different things because boys and girls deal with things differently. And no one actually recognised my ADHD as a kid. You don't just wake up one day and have ADHD, you've always got it, like you've always had it. And like, no one actually noticed it, and I do think it's because they just think of, when you think of ADHD, you think of running around being crazy all the time and misbehaving and all this stuff. When I finally did get diagnosed with ADHD, my ADHD is severe. When you look through the symptoms, I had all of them, and it really baffles me how I was not diagnosed earlier than I was. I always knew, like when I was younger, that something wasn't right about me, and I do think it was because I was constantly like zoning out. Like if I was in class, like I would, like my mind would just zone out of what the teacher was saying. I would just focus on something else. I have a very short attention span, basically. Like I'll be having a conversation with you and then I'll forget what I'm talking about, and then I'll talk about something completely different. Or I could be talking to you in serious conversation and then like I'll be like, oh my god, look at that tree. Like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. In November 2015, something, which I'm not going to talk about on my channel, made my dad think there was something wrong with me. Okay, I don't want to talk about that on my channel because it's very personal, but my dad took me to the doctors, and then the doctors didn't really do much, because I mean, you can't blame the doctors because they're not like psychologists and stuff. They don't actually know about the brain. They know about the body, but they don't know about the brain. So if you have a mental problem, they won't always be able to help you. And then my dad went and contacted the school counsellor, so I was talking to the school counsellor, and then the school counsellor contacts Family Matters. Family Matters was like, I don't know, I didn't have family problems, it was like family problems. I don't really know how to describe it really, but I was talking to this woman, I completely forgot her name, but I think she had curly hair, completely forgot. And I used to talk to her, and at first she thought something else was wrong with me, which I also got diagnosed with. But when I sat there and first time I was talking to her, she said that she thinks I've got ADHD. She thought this because I was constantly fiddling with my tie, and I was looking at the clock and then looking at the table and then not looking her in the eyes. And how, I don't know if that was just because I felt uncomfortable, but I never realised I used to do those things. I've always done it, like I've always been like really fiddly. But I never noticed it until she brought it up, and then that's when she started trying to diagnose you with that. And then I got fast tracked to CAMS. So CAMS is Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services, so it's basically for kids. The waiting list on there is like 6 months basically, but I got fast tracked like 2 weeks. So, and then when I got there, they started assessing me for ADHD, and they also started assessing me for a load of other problems which I'm not going to talk about. This is how the assessment thing works basically. So, well, this is how it worked for me anyway. Started off by talking to this man and just talking about everything, and then by the end of that little talking session, he can think, well, I think she could have a possibility of it or not, and he did think I had it. So they sent these forms, one to my dad and one to my school, and basically on these forms it was like, does Lucy do this? And then like one is, not much. 2 is sometimes and 3 is all the time. If the school and my dad both matched up with their results, then they would give me an assessment for ADHD and a load of other problems. And obviously both the school and my dad's matched up, so they gave me an assessment. And then a few weeks after the assessment, I got diagnosed by a psychiatrist, and she said she thinks I've got ADHD and loads of other things. I've also got conduct disorder, which is something to do with ADHD, and another one which I can't remember. And then the day I got diagnosed properly, I got put on my ADHD tablets. It was high dosage, like I've always been on high dosage, but these ones didn't last that long. So basically I'd take in the morning. By the time it'd get about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I was still at school, I'd be off my head, hyper as anything. Obviously because I was so hyper, I'd get in trouble. So then they switched me to Equizim XL. I take 80 grams of that day, 80 milligrams of that a day, so like 60 in the morning and another 20 at night. And those ones last for 8 hours, so it's sorted. My tablets don't wear off as quick as they did, and that is that. I want to make people more aware about ADHD, that it's not just a thing that if you're naughty, doesn't mean you have ADHD, and if you have ADHD, it doesn't mean you're naughty. I hate it when people just, like, some people don't even think ADHD is a real thing. Some people blame it on the parents, some people blame it on the child misbehaving. But if you do think about it, the facts are that it's a mental problem, and something in your brain is not right, or you've not got enough chemicals, or you've got an overbalance of chemicals, I can't remember which one, that makes you have these traits for ADHD. It's not like something that's just imaginary. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I will grow out of some of these things. Like, as you grow up, you do lose some of the traits of your ADHD. So yeah, I do hope that I grow out of it. But I just wish that people was a bit more, like, aware of ADHD and aware that it's an actual disorder that affects loads and loads of people. Hopefully this gets a bit of more of an idea of why I am how I am. If you look up the, like, symptoms of ADHD, you might be able to see how I've got them. If you know me, or even if you see my videos, you might be able to tell. Thank you so much for watching. I don't really know what this video was, but love you guys, and I'll see you soon.